Holy Nikes. Safety squints on that one for sure. Notice anything wrong with that? But in the immortal words of Jay-Z, I got 99 problems. This ain't one. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just getting my workout on here. Getting a little pumped up, ready for today's action. Let's dive into this thing. Now, if this is your first time stopping by, this is my 96 Ranger, old school Minitruck, static dropped, big stereo, lots of fun stuff with this one, but it's been sitting forever. Now, in the last few episodes, we got this thing running again, got the fuel system fixed up, and started working on the back end of this truck. We got some underbed mini notches installed, fabricated from scratch, welded in, ready to go. And today we're going to shift our focus a little bit. And when I say we're going to do some heavy lifting, unfortunately, everything we got to do today is heavy. So with doing those underbed mini notches last time, ditching these old universal crappy bolt-in notches, that allows me to get a little bit lower. Now, why would I want to get a little bit lower? This thing's static dropped pretty low. Well, because it's fun. Why not? Push the limits of things. And that's kind of always what I've done on this truck, is just to see how low I can get it on as little of a budget as I could get it. You know, being a broke kid back then and just trying to get this thing low and get it to where I thought it looked cool. Now, the drawback of doing things as cheap as I could and just getting it as low as I could to look cool was that it rode like crap, and as I'm getting older, this thing's wrecking my back. Plus, it's still a truck. I can't haul anything with those monoleafs in there, and even with the air shocks, it's basically useless. So the remedy for that is these guys right here. Yeah. Now these things here are the Street Edge 4-inch drop leaf springs for this Ranger. You know me, I picked them up on eBay, still on a budget. Not necessarily the cheapest things I could find, but they were probably the cheapest things I could find. Street Edge, sure, I don't know who they are, never heard of them, didn't really look into them, but I figured a leaf spring's a leaf spring. And at this point, with being mono-leafed, it was either buy some stock leaf springs and go through that whole song and dance, or go this route. So before I can get to just straight up installing those things, I need to get to work under the truck, start tearing the old leaf springs out, all the old kit, everything that's in there. I want to get that thing pretty well stripped down to just a bare frame, basically. And I need to get the axle out from under it and all torn apart as well, so I can start doing some of the other things I have planned. Yeah, I didn't end up cleaning up much under here, but that's mainly because I know I'm going to be right back in to cutting, fabricating, doing all that stuff, so I kind of just left everything out where it laid. So for the time being, I need to just start unbolting stuff, getting all of this out of here. I want to get the whole rear end out. I need to get all the e-brake cables and everything off the axle, which means I'm going to have to pull the wheels, pull the brakes, and probably completely undo the drum brakes to get the cables loose off the shoes and pull the whole leaf spring assemblies out. I may also unbolt the whole hanger assembly and shackles off this one. Obviously, I'm going to have to reuse them, but I'd like to just get them off the frame. Just makes it easier to clean them up, paint them, do whatever, and then bolt them back together at a later time. And by the time this thing's all said and done, pretty much everything you see here is going to be brand new. Now, will that be in today's video? Probably not, but I'd like to make a good jump start on it. So let's grab some tools, let's grab a little bit of lube here, and yeah, we'll start hammering things out, literally. Can I get a sharpshooter here? Oh yeah. Just going through kind of hitting everything. getting this stuff all lubed up, because I'm going to have to take all of it apart. Now, if any of you guys have access to a lift, you can feel my pain here. I am a mechanic by trade, so I'm used to working under a lift all day, every day, and all this stuff, you know, at a certain point rolling around on the ground and getting dirty that way is kind of for the birds. So this is really kind of taking me back to my roots of working on this thing in the driveway, you know, at my mom's house or wherever. And, you know, I don't like it. You know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna let that stuff kind of do its thing, soak into it a little bit, and yeah, we'll come back to it and hit this thing with some power tools. Hopefully start busting some of these things loose. It's a lot of rusty hardware. We'll see. Yep. Holy Nikes. That is on there. Well, I know I'm in for a long day. You know, that guy right there. It's pretty rusted. I don't think I've ever taken this bolt out. I know obviously I had the rear apart, but I don't think I've ever taken the fronts apart. I kind of anticipated a little bit of this, and that's why I said I kind of wanted to tear the whole thing down. I'll get some new bolts for it. Won't be a big deal. It'll just be a little bit of a fight. So try and get the back half of that bolt out, and the leaf spring's about dropped. I gotta unbolt them from the rear diff, but we'll see. We may just roll the whole thing out as one package and call it a day there. Well, in that last clip, you saw me fighting these bolts on this thing, and yeah, I'm just not gonna do that. So, you know, they say time is money, and money can't buy happiness, but it can buy Minitruck parts, which makes me happy. So I just went ahead, spent the money, and bought all the brackets for this rear end. I knew that those leaf springs, you know, if I'd had them apart, I think I've had the rears apart, but that was probably 20 years ago, and I don't think I ever took the front out. So those bolts are not coming out. Point of that being is that I just bought all the new brackets for the front and the rear, shackles, everything, comes with new hardware. Yep, I'm not screwing around with that. I'm just gonna lop everything off, get it all out of there, and be able to start fresh with new stuff and not have to fight any old rusty, crusty junk. Got hardware coming out my wazoo now. So anyway, I'm gonna dive over on the truck again. I'm gonna get everything just lopped off there, though I'm still out of gas on my torch. So yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna cut that all off. Probably with the grinder, I'm guessing. Anyway, let's dive over to the truck. Oh, there we go. There we go, one side of the axle officially out. Leaf springs and all. Trick will be driving these back through because I'll need to reuse those holes to locate the new ones with the bolts and everything. But, you know, that's not a big deal, hopefully. I gotta find my punch, wherever the heck that thing went. Somewhere. Anyway, I'm gonna knock out the other side quick, and hopefully we'll be on to rolling this thing out of here. Well, as I'm over here grinding the passenger side, I found something pretty cool. Thought I'd bring you guys in here and show you. Notice anything wrong with that? Again, a perfect example of why running a monoleaf isn't a great idea. Who knows how long that thing's been like that? And now just because I'm taking everything apart, it just fell out of there. Check this out. Not attached to anything. The bushing is just shot too. Look at this. Yep. Awesome. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Last one. Ah, come on. So there we go, the old quick release leaf spring. That is, yeah, really nice. I never would have got that bolt out. So I'm glad I went the route I did. No wonder the other one didn't want to come out. Well, anyway. That's sketchy. That makes me feel really good about driving that thing around like that. Oof. Anyway, on to the next. Alright, I think the next thing I'm going to tackle here is these e-brake cables. Now, what a lot of people don't know is these are pretty simple to remove. Not a lot involved with it, so I'll show you a quick trick here to getting them off. You get your quick release tool like so, and you just send it. There we go, simple as that. E-brake cable, delete. But in all seriousness, I do actually want that. This truck is a manual. I'll show you on the other side here. These things are in pretty rough shape. They're original, and they've just had the snot beat out of them for their entire life pretty much. And yeah, so I already ordered some new cables. I'm going to try and reroute them anyway, so they're not so kind of bound in here and twisted at weird angles. I'm going to see if I can actually come under the diff instead of up and over the diff like it would have been stock. And that should take some of these crazy angles you can see. Hopefully you can see that. This one down here was bent almost at a 90 coming out of here. So I can't imagine that's super great on the cable itself. Anyway, that one down. We'll move over to the other side. Alright, here you can kind of see what I was talking about. This cable's shot. And part of the reason is this little mount here actually goes on the spring mount, and you can see the bind that thing's in. It's had years and years of just sitting here rubbing against the bed, being at a weird angle. This one's all gouged up from being shot through the frame here. And like I said, I'm going to try and rerun those underneath everything. Keep them up out of the way, but yeah, definitely try and reroute them and get them in a better position. So anyway, I need to get this one off. We'll do the same thing here. Safety squints on that one for sure. There we go. Can I get you, can you just, what's your major malfunction? Alright, anyway, as long as we're in the quick release mode here, I need to get this brake line off. You can see, I assume you can see, the little hole I put in it. Unfortunately, this is a newer brake line, but when I was cutting in, I don't remember which episode that was of this. I think the first one of doing these notches and stuff. I shot a hole through it with the old plasma cutter, so that's going to need replaced. While I'm in here, I'm going to probably redo this rear hose and all the lines to the rear axle, so might as well ditch it. There we go. That's off there. That can come up out of the way. Only a few more steps to go. I gotta get these shocks unhooked and get the drive shaft unhooked. I'm not using the old quick release on either of those because there's a good possibility I'm gonna need to reuse at least the drive shaft. So might as well save it where I can. Anyway, I guess get some tools out and get going on that. As I'm taking these drive shaft bolts out here, I'm reminded of my good buddy Spencer, who decided one day to do a brake stand in this truck with it being monoleafed and with as much axle wrap as it has. That was good times. Anyway, bolts out. Drive shaft on the floor. Oop, don't lose those. I'm going to put them over here. Well, hopefully by the time this thing's all said and done, it should be able to do a brake stand without snapping the drive shaft in half. I think all I got left to do is pop these shocks off, and then, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to slide this thing out from under here. That would be nice. I can finish welding out these C-notches. Anyway, back to work. Right, well, after a little bit of cleanup, some rearranging around here, I can finally roll around on the floor a little bit and not get completely dirty, but this thing is ready to come out from under the truck. I got it jacked way up right now just for the clearance of everything, be able to get it out of here, so now I can move it back. Hopefully, without getting too hung up. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Look at all this room for activities now. That's awesome. I can get in here, finish welding all this up. Like I said, I still need to do some pieces underneath here and on the other side. Some of the rest of the welding under here, bracing things up, and just some random cleanup. You know, old hangers. I do need to get these rear hangers off so I can get the new ones put on. And yeah, just some overall cleanup on this thing. All right, finally, the last bracket. Perfect. This one was seized on there pretty good. For some reason, I reused the factory bolts on this side, not on the other side. But yeah, either way, got it all out. Got the front ones out, got all the old rivets and everything knocked back through the frame. This one, like I said, I'd replaced these before, so I've already gone through and done all that. And now you can kind of see I started cleaning up the frame some. Yeah, that's kind of the next step. I still need to do some on the notches here and get those welded in, but overall I'm just kind of going through and doing all the tedious stuff that doesn't make sense to film a lot of. So if I'm kind of jumping around here, that's why. You don't really want to watch me, you know, grind and clean up this frame for the next 3 hours. Anyway, like I said, kind of just cleaning this frame up. I'm going to put a coat of paint on it. I think by the time this is all said and done, I may try like, you know, some of the rust paint, Pour 15 or something along those lines. But for now, just to keep it from rusting or doing anything else, I just grabbed some spray paint real quick. I want to get something on it before I start really going back together with things. And then once it's all together, you know, I can kind of give it a coat of whatever. But I know I'm kind of probably doing that backwards. But, well, again, in preparation for kind of putting this stuff together before I'm really ready to put it together, if that makes sense, I'm going ahead and taking these brackets. Yes, they came painted, but kind of scuffed them up quick in all the areas that are going to sit against the frame and giving them a few more coats of paint just for that extra protection, because I assume what I'll probably do is wait to do like the final painting on all that till after like all the brackets and everything are all put together. So I'm doing the same treatment on the frame right now, just on the spots where these bolt in, and then, you know, hey, maybe we'll start bolting stuff together. That would be nice. Tired of tearing things apart. Anyway, I still need to do some work on my notches. So maybe I'll move on to that now while I'm just sitting here watching paint dry. Alright, a little bit of time has passed. Holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. I've been sick in the meantime, but I have found, don't worry about my voice, but I have found some time to get out here and just little spurts and get this frame cleaned up. I got the notches finished. You can see I got those in a coat of primer here, and other than that, I'm ready to start coating this frame. Now, I'm not doing the whole frame all the way up just yet. I'm going to do probably up to somewhere around here, and then the outside where the suspension is going to sit. And that way, once I bolt everything together, it's got a good coat of protection on here. You can see I kind of started just hitting it with some spray paint just to give it a little bit more. But anyway, it's time to start putting some paint on this thing. Now you can see I spared no expense, and I went with the Pour 15 here, and even sprung for a brand new brush. Get out of here. Anyway, I'm going to start shaking this thing for probably about an hour, and getting some coats of paint on this thing. Alright, here we go. First little dab of paint on her. Now, in all seriousness, obviously this isn't Pour 15, but it'll do just as well. I've used Rust-Oleum stuff forever, and this stuff works really, really well. I did go with a, did I go with satin or matte? Went with satin. Satin black, it'll match the spray paint that I put on here. And, you know, just give it a nice finish. This stuff goes on real thick. It brushes out nice. It'll do exactly what I want it to do. Real similar to Pour 15, but this stuff will actually hold up in the sun. Not that this is ever going to see the sun under here, but I know that's a concern with a lot of guys that do use Pour 15. Channel my inner Bob Ross now. Get me a happy little tree in here. There are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. Get inside all these holes. Make sure I get this thing good and coated. I did go through and clean the inside of the frame, outside of the frame, kind of everywhere. Like I said, for right now, my main concern is getting the outside of the frame where all the suspension bolts on. Getting all that stuff coated really well so I can start bolting suspension on. I'll come back at a later time and do probably the rest of the frame when we start moving to the front here and redoing that stuff. But for now, I just want to get all this a good heavy coat. Let it kind of eat in here. Get it ready to start bolting this suspension back together. Not looking too shabby. That black will dry up a little bit and it'll dull out, hopefully. And yeah, otherwise, I'm going to call that good for now. I got to let this stuff dry so I can get inside and do the insides of the frame rails. I've done some of them. You can see kind of the back over here, but I haven't got that back panel. I'm still not decided if that thing's going to stay or not. We'll see. That battery's got to go back here somewhere, and I'm thinking I might build a new crossbar for back there and just drop the battery back there. But I kind of need to get the bed on first so I can see what kind of room I got to work with for that battery tray and everything else. Anyway, just sitting here watching paint dry, having me a soda, and admiring my handiwork. Those didn't turn out too bad for just some junk we kind of threw together. Poor old motorcycle's getting hammered over here. Yeah, well, you know, what do you do? Just builds character, right? Well, I'm sitting here waiting for this paint to dry. I'm also thinking, hey, we got a ton of new subscribers lately, and you guys are freaking killing it. How awesome is that? We're almost to 1,000, which just blows my mind. That there's 1,000 of you goofballs that want to sit around and watch this goofy dude work on random Minitruck stuff. Hey, I'm cool with it, you know? If you guys are cool with it, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. If there's anything you guys are wanting to see more of or less of, or, you know, want me to just shut up and get to work, or want me to keep talking, you know, let me know. Drop a comment and let me know what you think of the channel so far. I definitely appreciate it. All that kind of stuff helps. You know, the comments, the likes, everything. You guys are killing it lately. And, you know, that stuff helps the channel grow. And, you know, the more it grows, the more fun stuff we can do. And, yeah, I like doing this kind of stuff. So let's keep it growing. I know, kind of jumping all over the place lately with this one, but when I only have like limited time on the weekends to get out here and actually work on this thing, you know, that's how it goes. And with the holidays and stuff that have come and gone, and the ones that are coming up, you know, that makes it even more hectic. Lots of family stuff going on and stuff like that. So getting out in the garage and getting stuff done, you know, I kind of got limited time to work with. So anyway, I hope you guys join me for the next one, where we're going to start throwing suspension back at this thing and getting everything bolted together. Still a lot of work to go on this thing, and I know I'm just at the back half, but that's why it's a winter project. I got a whole winter to work on it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Lots of little kind of finicky stuff this time. Got those mini notches buttoned up, got the frame cleaned up, all the suspension pulled off, and everything just kind of cleaned up and ready to go. A few surprises along the way. Yeah, well, that'll happen on an almost 30-year-old truck. So anyway, I think that'll do it for this one. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I appreciate all the new subscribers. You guys are freaking awesome. You guys are killing it. And, you know, thousands coming up real quick. Trying to decide what I'm going to do with that. Leave me some comments. Let me know. You know, either way, just leave me some comments. Leave a like. Do all that cool stuff that helps the channel grow and helps me be able to get out here and make more content and all that fun stuff. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work, sitting there watching paint dry. You guys got other videos to watch. Hopefully some of mine. That would be cool. Anyway, we'll catch you next time. Thanks.